Last time on The Empire's Edge.
You look simultaneously dirty and important. You must be the boss.
You flatter me.
There is something walking up these stairs.
That's a stupid way to have this built. I'm going to sue whoever.
OSHA obviously hasn't been in here if it's been like, you know.
right? 6.
Oh my gosh! These things didn't wander down here. They were turned into these vampire spawn down here, like a long time ago. So you can see the tunnelway proceeding forward at a slight down angle. It does look like it had been a road made into a road, hewn out of the rock down here, but it is not well traveled, not well maintained or repaired.
Interesting. And again, just reminding we are putting the torches up as we go if there's ever a place
Yeah,
for them
lightning
to...
off of Zellen's hand and just dropping it.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that's
Or
easily done.
if there's a wall sconce, putting it there. But if we have no sconce, just drop on the floor.
Yeah, and the pathway, the giant like drop off that we were going down, it continued to go down, right? We just went off of side tunnel, or are we at the bottom now?
You're at the bottom. Yeah,
Okay.
this was the only direction you could have gone.
Gotcha.
So,
And do we hear anything?
do perception.
Yeah. 13.
16.
22.
Oh, nice.
It sounds quiet in the tunnelway ahead. It sounds quiet behind you as well.
Okay. Continuing forward.
I'll take point, advancing down tunnel.
So you get past the point where you could tell your opponents have been waiting for you.
I have flame up, by the way, just so we know.
Okay, yeah, great.
And again, doing torches periodically.
So at that point, you can see that there might have been something like a guard station, or at least a watch point, built into the sidewall here, but not much more than a cubicle to sit into. It's only about 6 feet by 6 feet, and then the ceiling height is much, much taller, like 12 feet tall. But it seems so completely unused. There's just dirt, rock, mud built up inside it. But this seems to be the point where those vampire spawn were waiting a little bit ago, when the one had fallen, apparently recovered from that fall, and either alerted the other two, or the other two had caught up with it from somewhere further down this tunnel.
And the one that fell was one of the 3 that we fought in this tunnel?
Yes,
Okay.
he was already injured. You were like asking for, has it already been injured? It's like, yes, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
This guy has
Okay.
been injured.
Okay. Is there anything that gives us an indication of what they were doing, or is it just like the typical undead? They were just kind of standing there motionless until something happened to make them move?
Well, vampire spawners sentient.
Yeah.
My suspicion was they were waiting in ambush to see if we got past the ones that were sent ahead.
Oh.
Or they were coming up like the other ones, and then they saw one got dropped, and like, that's not typical. We're going to hang tight here and try and get them while they come down.
And then it was a matter of, you were wondering about what they did, meaning what did they do before they were
Yeah,
vampires?
like what do they do down here? Or like, yeah, maybe before they were vampires, or just in general?
There's nothing indicative about them that would communicate what they actually did in their life before being undead. Zellen, I believe, was examining the clothing, but it is so old, it's barely even clothing on them any longer, that you couldn't tell if they were wearing burlap sacks, wool clothes, or silks. It's just a mess.
Gotcha. And what about jewelry? Something that wouldn't break down like that? Anything to give us an idea, like it just so happens they're wearing a ring that lets us know that this one was a baron that we just killed?
No, nothing at all.
Okay.
I suspect we'll find more answers at the end of whatever this tunnel is.
Yeah, what made these things too. Hopefully. Well,
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes, hopefully, because if we can't stop it, it just goes up and eats an entire city.
yeah. Because
So yes,
we have opened
hopefully.
it up, yeah. So continuing on, unless something makes us stop.
Yeah, what would the
Heads on
knowledge
swivels.
knowledge of an undead thing? I guess that would be
Religion?
do a religion.
In
check?
3.5, that was religion, yeah.
well,
I'm not sure.
I'm going to go with that right now because that makes the most sense to me. Go ahead, everyone do religion checks. And I
Jacob is
don't
not
recall if
very
this was
religious.
mentioned during the last episode.
Ooh, natural 20.
Ooh, very nice.
On my new Mother's
On
Day
the
dice.
new Mother's Day dice. Yeah, well done, Victor.
Did she just put
16.
she put the paladin to shame?
That's all right.
Yeah, and then 23 on natural.
Less than 10, so.
So, as you're thinking about these, I actually completely forgot why I asked for to make that roll. I was so excited about
Undead
the
things.
Right, undead things. What was
You were
I
telling
saying?
us what the big bad
vampires
person
eating
is.
the city. That's
Oh, thank you.
what I'm here for.
Thank you. So with that high roll, Zellen, you're very aware that these vampire spawn, or the vampires that turn them into those spawn, that you know that they can turn into a non-solid form. And as long as they have a space they could go between stones, they could get out. So if these things have been trapped down here and unable to get out, it actually means that whatever this cave is, it is a closed environment, that it had to have been meticulously sealed for something to not get out that could turn into a gaseous form.
I'm going to share that with my friends.
That's some stonework, a completely airtight seal. Or I guess magic.
Putty.
Too. Okay.
It's a lot of putty.
Yeah, mud.
Medieval Play-Doh.
Something, yeah.
What a poor vampire gets thwarted by Play-Doh.
Oh, Play-Doh will dry out eventually. You want something that way sturdier than that.
Okay.
And the air, as a reminder, the air was in no way, you're catching a fresh breeze. It has a slightly
It's been
acrid
still and stale for centuries.
little
for a
stanky down
long
here.
time.
Do
Yeah.
should I use my new staff to do a detect magic or my wand of magic detection?
What's
just
the range?
To see,
Is it
30 feet for
Yeah.
10 minutes.
and it lasts for 10 minutes so you could
yeah,
sweep
30
as
feet,
we
10
go.
minutes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you certainly could,
What
or
am
you
I-
could
what-
wait until there's something that's actually, like, what do you want to detect?
Well, what I was wondering is, was this place magically sealed? Will I detect magic on the
I
walls?
think
It,
got that.
was. We punched through it.
Yeah,
but
that
I
was-
mean, the whole thing was magically sealed then with that punch through. There's no gaps or cracks or anything.
I mean, if you want it, turn it on. Just keep walking. You might notice something before we notice it.
Inert now, from what I could guess.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that.
All right, so then definitively there does not seem to be any kind of a magical protection that is making a bubble around this place.
Any latent magic that would let us know that it did extend this far, or anything to give us that idea?
I don't believe so. I think it's over. It's over.
Yeah,
Okay.
5th edition doesn't have any lingering effects.
Yeah.
3.5 did.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, that's why I asked.
So-
I was like,
Staying, you're not
Info?
going to stay here, obviously. Proceeding?
yep.
Yeah,
Just,
been proceeding.
with her 10 minutes, just like constantly sweeping. I'm assuming,
Mhm.
just giving
All
us
right.
an idea.
Well, it's
And I
an
think,
aura. You don't need to sweep anything.
oh, cool.
Yeah. she's
Again,
just-
3.5 was
I'm in
a
a-
cone.
Okay, I thought it was a
I'm
cone
in
in
a
front of you.
bubble.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bubble of detect magic.
Do we want to put you in the middle? Because we never really said marching order. On the way down,
we
I
did.
was
I was
second.
in front.
So yeah, okay. So I guess Boris is in front. That's all that matters. I
yeah,
was going to
Boris
say,
is front. You
did you want to be in the middle
Yeah,
in case
I'll go to
anything
the
came up the rear?
middle, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, so you two are changing positions.
yeah,
then.
why I
All
mentioned.
That's fine. Then, as you've traveled for really not that much distance, maybe about 100 yards or so, and the tunnel keeps more or less a straight line and stays the same relative degree angled down, you can see ahead of you that it's opening up. And what you actually notice first, might even make you pause in your movements, is you believe you see some pinpoints of light up ahead in the darkness.
like pinpoints, like little teeny eyes, kind of
Like
pinpoints.
reflections of
or-
the light we're holding.
Potentially do it as a perception, I would guess then.
Same.
Yeah.
All of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
13.
18.
23.
Yeah. So, Jacob in particular, you're seeing lights. You don't believe that they're eyes. They're spaced differently, and they have a quality that seems as though it's unvarying. It's not a fire burning somewhere off in the distance. It is.
Oh, yeah, because we've got the magic lantern, too. We're just
Yeah.
leaving
Oh, yeah.
torches behind.
It is an unwavering light. Yeah, you look behind yourselves and you can see your torches burning on the ground.
You said they're not like eyes because they're too far apart, but all I'm thinking of is her eyes were like the stars, not because they
Yes,
twinkled,
yes,
because they
reference.
were so far apart. Pointing out the fact that it's complete. And what would that give us an idea? Is that like the magical lights that they have on the streets?
and that
out?
I'm currently carrying.
Right.
Is
so
that the similar kind of light, or is it still
it
like a
seems
magical
it
flame?
is unvarying. And to put it in those terms, Jacob, you would say that this is very much like seeing those lights up in the city at nighttime
Okay.
from a distance.
And
Oh,
can I
that's
tell?
weird.
Can I tell the distance, how far away they are?
You would guess that it's probably maybe 500-600 yards.
Yards. Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a long way off.
Okay. Yeah.
But you think the end of the tunnel is actually getting very close.
like these things look farther than the end of the tunnel.
They do.
Okay.
So we
that's
seem to be getting
weird.
into a cavern.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you meant. I thought like there's a wall, but the lights look like they were further than the wall. That makes more sense.
Your brain is much scarier.
All right. Yeah.
So here's the semi-see-through wall.
Hey,
or
I was very creeped
or
out
there's
for a
a
second.
cave.
That makes
All right.
more sense. We
Okay,
do that.
so
We keep walking.
let's keep walking to
Yeah.
the end
Any
of.
roving fog banks as we're approaching?
So far, none. And considering what Zelen had determined and Boris had, I'm sure, suspected, that you're looking for that sort of a cloud
Yeah.
moving past you. It'd be the easiest way if there is a vampire down here for it to get out. But for whatever reason, nothing's passed you. Nothing's passed through here beyond, the spawn that you encountered. And then within just a couple of minutes, you do reach what will be the terminus of the road as a tunnel. It continues, and you can't make out all the details, but you are in a massive cavern. It is so far across, and down in the dell below you by about maybe 80 or 100 feet, it's bowl-like. You can see there is a complex of buildings that are down inside there.
Okay, can I do a survival
weird.
check to see if I can figure out whereabouts we are underneath Carnkeldley?
Yeah, go ahead.
18.
That you think you might actually be getting close to being underneath the Ark Palace itself.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sharing that. And it does it quite obviously look like we're in the Undercity at this point? Like, in a way, or
no? You
no?
think that whatever they would refer to as being that under part of the city, which again was more like just tunnels that have been repurposed, that is so far above your head.
Oh, we're that
Wow,
deep.
so we're
Oh,
in something
wow.
really ancient.
Yeah.
Can we?
Schepanov's mission.
And there's lights down there, right? We can see.
Absolutely.
And so, what else can we see when we look down there? Do we see any movement? Does it look like the buildings are being maintained?
What you see from this great distance is that the road that you're on comes right across the front, or right at the front of one of the buildings in this complex. It seems to be standing a little farther apart than the rest of the buildings in this complex. And there are lights starting at that point that define the lane that goes from the road that you're on, past the building that's the first building, and then to this much larger complex that looks walled, like a low wall, like if you were to have seen a villa in different parts of, well, really, that might just be a Boris perception from some parts of the Confederation of Duchies. And then there's a lane that goes further up the other side, sort of out of the bowl on the far side of where this complex of buildings are, and these lights line that road going up there. And then in that complex, at different points around it, you can make out what looks like, part of a villa building, another stretch of wall further down, the corners of the perimeter wall, that these lights, and they do seem to be some kind of magical lights, are dotted around to where you can't see the whole cavern as though it's illuminated, just these little pools of light that give you reference from one to the next and definition of how big this place is down here.
Is there an obvious path that gets us that way, or is it
Yeah,
kind of like
the
okay.
road you're
Yeah,
on
the one
seems
we're
to go.
on.
I didn't
Yeah.
know if our cave like dead ended into this cavern and we're just like on a drop off into this.
No drop off, but
Okay.
it does seem to be the road was built to match this.
Okay.
Can you see any tracks on the road? And I can send Jast, my hawk, down to fly around and see what she can see. But while she does that, I can't. I see what
How
she's
well
seeing.
can she see in the dark?
Well, he said that it was lit, that there was pools of light.
Small, occasional.
I mean, if anything, it might be able to get closer and just give us a bit more intel. So, I
Right.
mean, not against the idea.
But it just means that you guys have to guide me while she's flying, because I see what she sees, not.
I think you
I'm
can
seeing
choose
my
to
own
do that. I
eyes.
think you can just. I think you. Do you also have like just a link to it?
That's the point. That
Yeah.
She's choosing to see through
Oh,
the
okay.
eye, so
Right,
she has a
right.
direct feed rather than something translated through
Yeah,
telepathy.
I mean that's easy enough. I'll look for tracks first,
Yeah,
so
sure,
I can
go
get an
ahead
idea
right,
of
right now.
type of monster and number. 22 survival.
There are tracks. They seem to be, bipedal and like humanoid. So you can imagine what's gone back and forth.
Yeah.
A lot of packed rock, stone, dirt. And you can tell that there's been not cave-ins, but occasionally it seems like maybe some stone or loose dirt would fall from above, but not in any great quantities. What you notice even more so is that at some point, called the ramp that leads to this tunnel cave entrance, must be modified, raising the ramp or changing it at some point, that it's not like the rest of the rock around it, and it's also not part of the floor of this cavern you're coming into. It looks like it was at some later point built up to match the cavern entrance.
So modified reinforced or modified potentially trapped. Do I get that idea?
Modified to change elevation.
Okay.
Yeah, built up so it actually matches where the exit point is.
And do I get any sort of an idea of number of type of bipedal?
What was your number? You rolled
22.
Yeah, you probably say that there's at least a dozen, maybe 10 things that move around down here, but it's difficult to tell with the overlap and back and forth.
Okay,
But
but
they all seem to be barefoot and that would fit with the demon spawn, with the vampire spawn you saw just a little bit ago, because their shoes had long since deteriorated.
Okay, and we've run into 4 of them so far. So correct? I know
5.
5. I thought there was 2.
No, yeah,
2, and then 1 fell down.
Oh, that's
and then
right.
3.
Yeah, 4.
Okay. So yeah, sharing that, saying like there's potentially at least, I would guess, 6 to 8 more of these things, and then whatever's in, I guess what we're probably calling Schepanov's mission.
Yeah, I think we can reasonably confidently apply that title.
That would make perfect sense.
Yeah.
You have found, looking down at it, you see it barely illuminated. You have found Schepanov's mission.
That's going to be a clip for next episode. Continuing up to that bridge, I'm still hesitant. I know they've raised it up to match this thing, but I do want to, I don't have the skill set
ramp, not
necessarily.
bridge.
Yeah, ramp. You're taking one step out of the tunnel. You are on it. So when you bent down to just look for tracks,
I fell.
you saw that it's been built up.
Okay, good. Okay,
Yeah, the
that's
whole point was that either this place sunk or dirt and stone built up around it.
You kept on
and
saying
they
ramp,
built
and
their way out.
I was thinking ramp, but also ramp and bridge. Like they
Picturing
just go
bridge.
hand in hand together.
Right.
But okay, that makes more sense.
So does Jast see anything as she tries to fly closer to that village down there?
All right, so it's more like a villa that, to fit the basic description, within a walled area, you would have garden spaces, you would have pens for small animals, goats and things like that, and then you would have other buildings, outbuildings where the servants would work, material for repairs, and then the main villa area. So the whole thing could be 300 or 400 feet long and a couple hundred feet wide. Apart from that, there's only one other building, and that's the one that's near the road down there.
Is there anything in the garden spaces?
Well, hang on. Which one of those buildings wanted to fly near, or just do a circle over the entire
I just
thing?
wanted to do a circle over the entire thing, looking for movement, looking for anything that would indicate that it's occupied.
Okay, go ahead and make a dex check, an agility or whatever it's dex, a D20 with its dex modifier for
and
the
is it
bird.
fair to say you're kind of narrating this all
Dex
to us
check?
as
Yes,
we're walking?
absolutely.
What's that?
It'd be just a dex check.
Yeah.
So the dexterity of the animal is a 16, and then I rolled a 7, and it has a +3.
So it'd be a 10 is what you
Okay.
rolled just now. So it is flying out there, and it's heading first toward that one building that's all by itself. And that one building, it is about 100 feet long, about 40 feet wide. It's a big building that's down there. And of course, inside this cavern, it is absolutely dwarfed. It looks teeny from where you are. And as you're looking through its eyes, you're seeing it as a much, much larger building. It looks as though it would have been something that it could have been used as a monastery or as a storage area for people that make wine. Even older than that, even could have been used as a barn at some points. Maybe multi-purpose use.
And there's enough light to get all this?
There's enough right at the entrance to it to get the front of the building, and one at the back of it to extrapolate its overall length, but not any of the details in between. Any more specific details in between.
So is there, like you said, there's greenery spaces. Are there actually things growing in them, or does it look like all weathered and dead?
So again, through your familiar, it relates, as you can see through its eyes, that there are trees standing in here that have no leaves, and they've been long since dead. It was though all of this land just either sunk, or there was some kind of a stone roof built over it, or it was transported or transplanted somehow, that it looks like it was the surrounding grounds to whatever this place was way back in the day.
Right.
That there's 3, 4, maybe 5 acres worth of space down here in this cavern, and it isn't like bumpy rocks or stalactites and stalagmites. It looks like it was farm country, but now it's just dry soil and dead
Underground.
So somebody just cut a chunk out of a hill and dumped it down
Yeah,
here?
it's
Yeah,
like
that's what it looks like.
Atlantis or something.
Rockland.
Okay, so but the Jast isn't picking up any movement.
The
There's
lost
not,
city of Atlanta.
But as far as she can see.
No, as far as it can see, there is no movement down here whatsoever. You are the only source of movement.
Okay, so I'm going to call her back. And obviously share with my friends that she's not detecting any movement, and her flying down there didn't trigger anything.
That's good.
Which I think is interesting. That nothing, no bats or anything like that came after her.
Yeah, there's like, as far as you can see, there's no living creatures down here whatsoever.
So we'll continue our approach, knowing that there's got to be at least a few more of these things, but they just don't know we're
Well,
here.
there's at least
yet.
the vampire.
That
there
too.
could be more spawn.
Yeah.
So walking down there, now again, from the perception or point of view of anything that is down there at the mission itself, they see a couple of points of light coming down that long rampway. So there really isn't any stealth at this point unless you guys drop your light and try to do something else. But it takes you
Unless
the better
you can cast
part.
dark vision on us, I don't think we're going to be doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no, I'm pretty bad at sneaking. I'm worse sneaking blind.
That it'll take about 5 minutes where you are on this road at the terminus of the tunnel to get down to where that large building is that the familiar just flew over. But then you're uninterrupted the whole way down. Jacob, do you check for traps at any point as you go?
I put myself.
I didn't mean traps. I meant tracks.
Oh yeah, I'll be doing that, and also keeping an eye on our backs in case anything
Okay,
was
so
in an ambush position.
with that, so I would imagine you step offline from where the tracks were coming up.
Yeah.
That you do note that it looks as though some footprints have gone up partway recently and then turned about and went back and then seem to reverse themselves again and gone back up, as though there was confusion or unknown as to what to do. But then ultimately, when you get down to that large building, it looks as though all the tracks at one point had come right through that building out onto the street, as though they were dwelling in this large place itself.
Gotcha. And as we walk to, I'll make a periodic glances at the walls, knowing that they have the ability just to scale these surfaces.
The walls to the cavern are far, far away at this point.
Oh,
They are 100, 150 feet away at this point.
nothing I need to worry about then. 'Cause-
Yeah, so they are weird. No, there's the walls to the building are really close at this point as
Yeah.
you're walking up to it. And the building itself is a 2-story building, much wider. The 40-foot wide has about a 20-foot wide or so strip down the middle that is 2 stories. Looks like it's terracotta roofed, stone and plaster on the walls. It looks like it was made for a very sunny climate, a very warm weather place.
Take a perception, see if we notice any movement or hear anything.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, let's keep to quick searches. I don't
All of
want
us?
the potion of stone giant strength to run out.
Oh, true. How long does that last?
An hour,
Okay.
so I'm guessing I've got about 50-ish minutes left.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
13.
18.
6.
The two of you then, that'd be Zelen and Jacob, you can tell that this building looks like it was used as, it looks like a religious center or a barracks of some sort, that there are symbols out on the front of it. There's 2 towers flanking it that are short towers, not truly defensive towers. They look a little more like they were built to impress, that when someone had enough money, they were add-ons to the rest of the structure. And the road here is actually a T road. It goes further up into what would have been the hills, and then a hard right turn up into the hills, which now just runs toward the walls to this place, or into the building, making a hard left-hand turn into the building itself.
So is there a particularly impressive-looking building that we get the idea like that's where we should start, or that looks like the main building?
This building in front of you is probably one of the larger buildings as a single building, but the rest of the complex, the rest of all the buildings, are within this walled area, or the majority of them within this walled area. And it makes all of that look like it's one building, like one main complex.
Yeah, compound, yeah.
Right. But to get through it as a large building, it looks like this one was very, very important at some point. Go ahead and do, as you've been making tracking rolls, do an investigation roll. And that's all of you. That as you're picking up on clues that are around this thing.
Not bad. 17.
11.
16.
Yes, Jacob, from your point of view, looking at tracks, looking at things, the age of some buildings, that you're noting that the wear patterns just in the doorway to this building looks as though it has, in the stonework on the doorstep, easily 80, maybe 100 years of wear, people moving in and out of the stone. It's so worn down.
Almost looks like a divot just kind of been
Right,
worn
that's
into
been
it.
actually worn into the stone. But it also looks as though that wear is old, that the stone has not been recently worn, that just even the traffic of one person moving in and out of it periodically wouldn't cause any noticeable wear. So that this building was very, very important and was used for a long time by somebody for something.
We're definitely in the right place.
I'm going to move up to the actual door of this building and activate a use of Divine Sense.
Right.
So gauging fiends, celestials, undead within 60 feet, as well as consecrated or desecrated places or objects.
Yeah, so you get like the stink of desecration, that this had been consecrated ground. The entire building would have been, but has been desecrated.
Okay.
Is my detect magic spell worn off? Has it been more than 10 minutes?
To get down here, it's been, less time than that. So no, it's been about that time. It'd be wearing off very, very soon.
Do I detect magic?
In this area, no, you do not.
Okay.
There seems nothing magical about the place itself.
You want to move towards that obvious desecrated spot?
I'm picturing you guys like being right in front of it at this point.
Yeah, I
Oh,
moved up
down
to the door of the
Gotcha.
building. Yeah,
right,
that's what I said.
Yeah,
Okay,
just reinforcing.
Yeah.
Door unlocked?
There
haven't
are
tried it
doors.
yet.
They're actually open.
Oh.
They're not even. Not
Yeah,
even
so
closed.
haven't crossed the threshold yet. What am I getting from the light coming off the lantern on my shield?
That you're seeing that it looks like there was a long hallway down through the middle of this. That would be the 2-story portion. Now you're closer to it. It seems less wide, that top part. Maybe it's like 12 or 15 feet is the second story. And you can, even ducking down just a little bit and looking up, you can see the second story is only a gallery. It's like upper space only to make the main entranceway look more impressive, that it's 2-story. And it looks like individual rooms on either side running the whole way down. It's actually fairly austere in its development.
Okay.
There's no decorations. There's not the mosaic floors that we've seen other places or that kind of stuff.
Nothing you can see from the doorway that way, but it does have that look that if you needed to build a solid building quickly, you make a very austere, plain, Spartan sort of building.
Right.
But it looks like once it was built, they used it for a long time.
Yeah. So this looks less like chapel, more like rectory.
Yeah, it would have that look to it, or even living quarters.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move on to a different location. We might find some spawn here, but I'd rather tackle the vampire first.
Okay, so we don't want to step into this building?
No.
Now, the one lane that leads away from this is running in the same, call it east-west direction of this building. You came from, call it the south, coming up to the corner of this building. And the road that is directly opposite the main door to this building just runs like up a steep incline and runs right into a wall. And Jacob, with your older numbers for looking for tracks, it doesn't look as though anything has walked in that direction ever.
Oh, so no
as far as you
footprint
can
that's
tell.
like half on
Yeah.
here and half into the wall?
So
It's-
what direction does it look like people have moved?
But then going straight ahead, that is maintaining the same direction of the road that you entered this area from, it parallels this compound, but a good 200 feet away from it. The only way to get to this place would be either to walk through the building to get to the main compound, or to walk just alongside its north wall, and that'll take you close to the buildings.
Well, then we have to go through.
So it'd be a matter of, you can either walk outside it, but down its length, or through the middle, and that's just your call.
So do we want to cut through the building or do we want to go around
Might
the
as well just
outside?
go through.
Jacob, do you agree?
Yeah, no.
All right, so
All right.
we
Do you
enter
want
the
to
building.
do a siegecraft, see if there's a good ambush spot coming up ahead, or could I do that as a survival?
The whole building's an ambush spot.
The whole building is a pretty good ambush spot.
There's doors on both sides the whole way down. The
Well, we
whole
may as
thing's
well-
an ambush spot.
We may as well skip as we walk through then.
You really could. All right, so as you're walking in, each side are cells. It looks as though there's like 6 of them, and they look very much like what you would picture a monk's cell would be.
So all the doors are open,
Abbot
none
cell,
of
all
them
the
are-
doors are open,
Okay.
yeah. And some doors are just off. Or abbot cells in various temples of Ukko.
Mhm.
Okay.
That it looks very much like one of those.
Let's move like at a trot. Let's move quickly through this building. Let's get out the other side because it is just ambushy in here.
Okay, and Jacob, you pick up as you're moving that quickly through it, the same signs of age, as though this has been used by hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people over a long, long period of time. It has the telltale wear that kind of a building would have. And it does look as though that was also, again, a long, long time. The exit is going to be in the back right corner that takes you back out to the outside there. But nothing jumps down. There was never any, sound, inclination. There's anything moving around inside here.
Great.
Well,
Would I
didn't ping
confidently-
undead within 60 feet, so
Would I confidently
Is that ongoing or whatever you say?
that is for a round after I
okay.
say.
Got it.
would I confidently be able to know if I were to go to these dead trees there? Could I be able to tell how long they've been dead, or confidently know?
By cutting one down.
Yeah, like this is when maybe this is when the place.
I think there's a pretty
collapsed
good
down here.
chance, if you were to go outside and do that.
Okay, so, packing that away for later. Obviously, we're not going to go do that right this second, but
Right.
getting an
Okay.
idea of knowing when did
I
Schepanov's
wonder if
mission
they're
fall?
big enough that you could zip into one if you wanted to.
I don't know if a caveat has to be alive.
It
Does it have to be a live tree?
Yeah.
And then the other one, coniferous.
Yeah.
This seems like an orchard, I'd guess,
they're actually
based on the familiar description.
There are trees that were just outside this building, further up the hill. And when you get out the other end of this building, where the direction you're heading now, there's a couple trees right over there. But there is what might have been an orchard up alongside the main compound. So that's still a couple 100 feet away.
Be very nice to like
But then
zip into a
deciduous.
tree and then appear back in the park.
Right, yeah.
Everything you've seen so far would indicate they were deciduous trees. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so we're out the other side of the building?
Yeah, in that corner there was a door, and you came through an area that looked as though it was more of a common area, but you could imagine that a whole bunch of somebody's used as communal space. There was no one space that it was like the master room,
Okay.
but the people of equal standings all had their own little space to do whatever they did.
Okay. So then whoever was the chief of this probably slept someplace else.
Yeah, in the villa proper.
Right, exactly.
So just outside that door, there was a paddock area that would have been a penned-off space for animals, goats or things like that, sheep, to keep them contained.
Unroofed?
Unroofed, yeah, just like a fenced-in area. There is a tree in that one, definitely deciduous, but you would have to jump over that fence to get to it. This lane leads right up alongside the low wall that surrounds the majority of this compound, and right past what would have been a barn of some sort or a loafing shed for the animals. But you can see by one of those magic lights, magic lanterns, that this path leads to and terminates at a gate that would take you through this low wall. It's only about 6 feet tall, maybe 5 feet tall in some places. So it's not so high you couldn't get over it fairly easily, but it was just a definition of where it was. And if you had an armed contingent, it'd be fairly easy to defend.
So do we want to go over the wall or through the gate?
Through the gate.
All right. So
We're
through
not
the-
being stealthy, so why bother?
Yeah,
If I look up, what does the ceiling look like? Or does it just get too dark? You can't even see the
You can't
the
even
top?
see the
Okay.
ceiling, up over your head. So as you proceed down the length of that wall, a good 80 or so feet down to the edge of it, you get to the gate, and there are trees on either side of it, and the gate is just hanging open. And proceeding through it, you go right into a paddock area, another area you could have had gardens or kept animals in.
Okay.
On either side of this, to the extreme outer edges of this compound, we're talking the perimeter walls side to side of this long rectangle being about 150 feet from each other, end to end. And you're right in the middle of that as you enter from its shorter side.
Okay. Do we see anything? Is anything moving
There's
around?
no, nothing moving. There's 2 dead trees on this side, on flanking the gate just inside the wall. And beyond that, there's paths that would lead to the various buildings, but it does look like workspaces,
Well, let's
storage
keep
spaces.
moving to the villa proper.
Yeah, I agree.
Checking for tracks again, just as we walk to make sure there's. Now I see gigantic dire wolf tracks. I just
Okay, so keeping that same detection from before, you can tell that there's been walking on this path, but it looks as though it's been much more numerous, much more regular, to where you couldn't even tell how often or how many. It's just that when you get the one stray that's a little toward the edge of the path, it looks like it's been traversed multiple times for long periods of time.
Recency, is that a word?
Fairly recently, you would say that yes, things have been walking on this maybe today.
Okay, sharing that as we move.
Great.
All right.
But we're heading towards the villa.
Right. So at about 150 feet, you get to another gate that leads into the next section of the compound itself. And again, there are lanterns at that one as well, denoting that point. And again, the gates themselves are open. It's still a low wall of about 6 feet. And as you proceed through that, you're in another area about the same size as the previous one, about 150 feet by about 300 feet. And it is, I take that back, about 150 feet by about 100 feet. And as you enter into that area, you can see again, it looks like there might have been places for servants to live, farmers who worked this land when it was above ground somehow, that they lived in this area. It has that look of like domicile people lived in. And on the far side, the narrow side of this rectangle, you can see there's another gate that leads into one last narrow area. And already between that space, rather not between it, but beyond it, you can see that there's a much higher wall, that you're getting toward the center of the complex, the main area, and that wall is about 20 feet high with a proper gate in front of it.
Yeah, moving with purpose, because I don't know how long the
That's
potion
right.
has
Yeah, we
left.
got
Right, yeah, so main
let's
buildings
get-
first.
This is
Yeah,
a fun
let's
episode of
get-
MTV Cribs, but we really want to kill whatever's here.
So going through that last low gate, you can tell this is an area for carriages and horses that they probably be stored off to either side. The buildings at about 15 feet wide are as wide as this area is, and there's different areas for hooking up carts and things like that. And then beyond that, there is a gate, and with that gate, you can see that it's up and open right now. And beyond that, you can make out a part of the building that has, again, these magic lanterns on it about 120 feet away. And it's a very large complex. It actually makes the other one, the original building you saw, seem small by comparison in the length of the building and the overall size, the number of people it could house for whatever the purpose was of this place down here.
We head to the main building.
All right, so as you walk in through there, you can see there what was fountains on either side, very ornate, and without even making any checks, the stonework is much more finished inside this area. It looks like that other building might have been either abandoned or given a secondary role once this place was built, and it's built just so much better. You can see that further up ahead, there are more of those lantern lights that are not just on the outside, but also the inside of this building, as you can see light shining out through the windows. It is a 2-story building, and it's roughly an I-beam shape, and you're coming right at the middle of one side of that I-beam. The main doors to the complex look as though they're open. They might have been very lush gardens at one point that are in this area. It looks too as though things had overgrown, like in a drastic way, and then died.
Okay, great. So we're going to head directly to the building.
So once you're inside this building, you can tell that there has been a lot of activity and movement around this place. You also find, just as you get inside it off to the right-hand side, that there is a body lying on the ground.
Okay, so let's go and look at the body.
Chest moving as we approach it.
No, there does seem to be-
Before we get too close, I'm going to do another use of divine sense to see if this is some kind of clever ambush.
Okay.
Let's do get help.
Is it an undead?
I'm sorry. I thought Dave was about to say something else.
He was
Oh, no.
making a joke.
That's a reference.
That is the moment you do it, two things happen. One, there's no undead like in this area, but you think that right as you were turning that on, that something was just at the edge of your area, leaving it off to your
Hostile within
right-hand
60
side.
feet. Not the
And,
corpse.
Go ahead and do a perception.
8.
19.
13.
Okay, so only Boris, you hear that there is something that is so quiet, running you would gauge at full speed, but so quietly, it is bizarre how quiet. And it sounded like it might have just exited the building off to the right-hand side of the I-beam of the footprint of the building.
Let's chase it.
Right flank.
And run.
So
As an action, I'm casting protection from evil and good on myself.
All right, so then are you staying inside the building chasing, or are you going to go back outside and run on the outside along it?
Whatever's more direct, I would say.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Whatever gives us a better chance of catching it.
Probably back to the outside.
Okay.
Right, so let's do it.
All right, so running alongside that end of the building, you're running right up to what looks like other outbuildings, and then there's an alley that's in between them. And as you run right to the corner of that, you can see the 20-foot high wall just beyond, and something just then goes up and over the wall into what would be the orchard on the other side.
No split second to shoot one arrow at it.
I would say no, there isn't time to get an arrow off on this thing. But you do see ahead of you that there is a path that leads to the wall itself, but you don't see that there is a gate or a door at the terminus of that path.
Okay.
Then let's circle back to a gate we know.
Yeah, the other one you said was open, the large one.
Zelen, go ahead and make an intelligence roll.
You want to go check the body either?
Well, we've got a moving hostile.
Sure.
Sorry, 15 plus, what am I supposed to plus? My
Intelligence.
Whatever your intelligence modifier is.
Probably a 30, I think, modified.
18.
That the way that path runs right to the wall and just stops, it just sparks a memory in your own head about something you saw right behind the Zalatis Tower in...
Yes, that's right. When we were fighting at the Zalatis Tower, they ran right through the wall.
Oh, so now you tell us about that, David
Yeah,
says.
so let's just run up to the wall.
Okay.
You got to run right between. Well, yeah.
I mean, we don't have to run full speed, but let's run and see if we can just push through the wall.
Like we want to make sure we hit the exact same area too, because I'd hate to be off by a foot and just go crashing into the wall.
So, Zen, with your hands outstretched and you go right to the wall and your hands start to go through it, go ahead and do an Arcana check. And as the rest of you are touching that area too, you can make the same Arcana check.
Okay.
17.
8.
16.
Yeah, so Boris and Zelen, that you can tell, through whatever this magic is, that only good would be able to go through this gate.
Aha, that's why he went over. Let's go through.
This door. So you go through in what would have been an orchard, lines of trees, and Boris, you have once again encountered that there is, just about 50 feet away, there is undead that is behind one of these trees.
I point to whichever tree before I lose the sense of with divine sense.
Okay, and
Moving to
Knock an
engage.
arrow.
and it's there's all kinds of cover of branches in between right here. It's chosen this spot, and he is standing near one of these trees, this bipedal person, and he is now walking toward you.
Walking.
Can
Confidence.
we take any action?
Yeah, as an action, I'm going to be activating a sacred weapon. So now I've got that, protection from evil, and the potion of giant strength going. So I feel pretty top tier.
And I have
So
arrow knocked. I guess I'll ask out loud to Boris, do I shoot him?
He pauses at about 30 feet away from you guys, and he says, he puts his hands up in a defensive, like a truce.
I don't shoot him.
And he says, you have come so far, and you must be seeking something of great importance. You're here in Schepanov's mission for peace or rest or knowledge.
I'm rolling an insight. Are you rolling an insight?
Yeah, nat 17 for an unnatural 20 on my insight.
Yeah, nat 15 for a 19 on mine.
17 for mine.
What I'm wondering, and what I'm specifically looking at, is did he I'm going to try that sentence over again.
Yeah, that's all, folks.
Did he calmly walk up to us just to get within one move of us so that way he could then run up and attack?
Oh, a religion check to see if I know what a charm ability is?
First things first is that he does not seem to be in a position where he is expressly about to attack. And the best way to answer Boris's question is David, that is Jacob. Make a wisdom saving
Is he within
throw.
10 feet of me?
No.
Oh, man.
Oh, is...
Wait, I'm within...
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I think you
awesome.
meant the bad guy.
No.
right.
He's within 30 feet, and that's all the more range I need to move
Remind
up
me
on him.
again what...
A wisdom saving throw. So
what
just
is your bonus
You're
do?
adding +4 to your saves.
Now, question is, I have a little thing that says +1 on saves from that ring of
That's already
protection.
factored
That's
in.
already factored in? Okay, so... With an additional... Oh, God, no. My +9 only makes that of 13.
And follow-up, is this a charm effect?
I don't... How would you know that? Through...
I don't need to know it. Jacob's within 10 feet of me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Aura of devotion. I radiate an aura of purity and loyalty, warding me and my allies. As long as I am conscious, I and my allies within 10 feet cannot be charmed.
So, Jacob, you failed your saving throw. And in this moment when you're feeling yourself, you're thinking, you know what, this guy's kind of making sense. We should be down here doing this whatever and finding out we do want knowledges. But at the same time, you can feel this goodness surrounding you. The devotion to Ukko, even though you're not a devotee of Ukko, and you realize that you've been pulled back from the brink of that by the aura that is around you.
Shoot him!
Oh, yeah, no, I call that on immediately. He's in my head! And I just want to loose the arrow that I'm holding.
He's in my head.
Yeah.
Move action, attack action.
Literally Hawkeye right now with Loki.
Yeah, right.
All right, yeah. I want to loose an arrow, yeah.
All right, so we need it at this point.
Okay. Aw. Oh, it's not bad. It's just not as good as it could have been.
I'm feeling good.
16.
19.
17.
11. I'm always cleanup.
All right, so
Always cleaning up after
that was
you, boys.
Boris. You were at what again?
19.
19, and then
I had to make a lot fewer Marvel references on this podcast.
the Earl Zolatus is at 17. What did you say you were, Zelen?
Ooh, I
11.
heard that name.
11.
Wait a second. What'd you call him?
The Earl Zolatus.
And what did you say? Were you, Jacob?
16.
16. Well, they're all in a bunch, and then clean up. All right, so Boris, you're at
The
19.
last Zolatus hides in darkness.
Oh, is that what was said?
I get that reference now. I don't like that reference now.
Oh, we were just in that. Oh my god, this is so cool.
Yeah, moving to engage and attacking.
All right, so you get your attack at the end of that move.
Yep, 2 attacks because I've got extra attack. Makes me happy.
Okay, twist it up.
Okay, how's a... Oh yeah, Sacred Weapon still active, so that's an 18. 5 for an 18.
Man, yes, that is definitely a hit at 18.
All right, and second attack is a 12 for... It's somewhere above 20. I don't care to math numbers.
Wow, when math doesn't matter. Yes, they are both hits.
I am expending a spell slot, a second level spell slot for both of those to smite him both times. I just need to.
Oh, cool.
You still have mine?
I didn't. Yeah, I picked them up.
Yeah.
Stole them from you. All right, that is 13 magical bludgeoning and 18 radiant for the first one.
Jeez.
Boris smite good.
He smite bad.
His smites are very good. And that's 13 magical bludgeoning for the second one and 12 radiant.
And what was the radiant on the last one?
18.
Yeah. I was so overwhelmed.
Paladin fight dead thing. Good.
My gosh. That 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 56 points of damage.
Yay.
Wow.
Nice.
Right, yeah. So at the end of your round, he does an action.
Okay. Is that allowed? I don't
Wait a
think
minute.
that's allowed.
Wait a minute. What does that mean?
That means that he is keying on...
Means he's cheating.
On Boris's action. He's not waiting for his own init. He's doing something else in that time.
So it's a reaction?
In essence, yeah, it would be like a reaction
allowed?
to that.
I think it's doing something other than a reaction. It's using powerful, dangerous enemy powers.
I mean, I'm sure it's allowed. If
It
it's
used the
doing
cheat card.
That I'm gonna roll to see which person he's be doing this to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The guy in melee range.
Yes, but he wants to get away from you.
You've just got bad luck.
He pointed at me in case you guys are curious.
So
Well, that's why the rest of us are laughing.
Yeah, it's
Jacob, he moves at speed, and he is right up on you.
Provoking an attack of opportunity?
He actually does not.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, so he provokes no attacks of opportunity when he keyed on somebody else's move.
Okay.
So he is up on you, and it is his round,
Oh, boy.
and he is attacking you.
Bad day.
All right, so in his human form, multi-attack. All right, his first attack. What's your armor class?
20. So I feel at least good about that.
Natural 19.
Oh, no.
And with his pluses, he definitely hits you. Let's see, but instead of dealing damage, he grapples with you and pulls you close to himself.
Oh.
And he's now doing his second attack. And that is he's working on biting you.
I scrunch my neck up like a turtle.
Sharks don't have necks. Sharks don't have necks. Futurama joke.
And he hits you
Uh-oh.
That's bad.
with his bite. And the hit for this,
Gonna make a save or something?
no, things be read it out loud. So the creature is grappled with a vampire, incapacitated, restrained. A 1d6 plus 4 piercing damage and 3d6 necrotic damage. So 1d6
Ow.
plus 4, you take 7 points of damage for the piercing damage, and then 3d6 necrotic. You take 15 points of necrotic
Oh my
damage.
God.
And that
Gosh.
lowers my hit point total, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you take the damage and your hit point total is reduced by that much.
Gotcha.
Rather, your hit point maximum is reduced by that much.
And suddenly he doesn't look like he's quite as hurt.
Ooh, that's not good.
Vampires do vampiric things. The logic's there. I don't approve, but the logic's there.
All right, so
Can't you do anything holy at him?
I did.
He did 56 holy things at him just a moment ago.
I'm
He
keeping him from regenerating. If Jacob got grappled and is feeding him, that's his business.
All right, so that was his
Doing on
round.
purpose.
At
Consenting adults or whatever.
17, Jacob at 16.
Okay. I I guess I try to get out of the grapple.
That would make good
or
sense.
am I able to draw my weapon and attack?
Technically, grappling does not impede your fighting abilities whatsoever.
Oh,
So you're still
yay.
just suffering disadvantage because you're in melee if you want to shoot him, but
yeah.
poking with knife is definitely an
Yeah,
option.
I will switch over to and draw what I call it, Violet's Dagger.
Violet's Dagger.
And I will
Something bonus action.
I'm
something,
gonna
something.
let me get there. I'm not gonna forget casting a Hunter's Mark as a bonus action
All right.
and swinging at him. Oh,
Probably a stab. And actually, as you pull the thing back to stab, he'd probably go, hey.
that
looks really familiar.
26 to hit.
It feels familiar too. Yeah, wow, nice hit.
D4 plus a D6, and I do still get my Colossus Slayer.
Yeah, that D8.
That D8. Oh, you have all my D8 still. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's my D8.
I'm looking at all these dice
Where's
in front of me. I'm
my
like,
D8s?
where did... All right.
I'm just
I
gonna be
think if
stealing
I need to
them
roll a
back in
D, I'm
second.
rolling a D10 instead.
9 plus
They're right
that.
there.
Oh.
17 points of damage. Oh, and I get 2 swings. That's right.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
it again.
good damage.
Off the
Wow.
table, and a 23 to hit.
And again, that's a hit.
Don't get that. 3, 6, and then 14 points of damage.
Oh, wow. Very good.
Stab, stab. Let go, let go, let go.
You're like,
And then as a bonus action, I scream in his face and just
Free action?
blood curling. Yeah. What did I say?
Bonus.
Oh, as a free action, I scream in his face as loud and
Ouchie,
blood
ouchie.
curdling as I can.
and he just whispers
What are you
back.
trying to banshee wail at him?
He
Yes.
whispers back, don't talk dirty to me.
What a weirdo!
To be fair, if you were buried alive for a few, I'm guessing 1,000 years,
Yeah, a couple
you'd
thousand
probably be
years.
kind of
yeah.
odd
Can
yourself.
I cast
Nibble on-
lightning at him and not hit Jacob?
Technically, in a
Probably
grapple, you're in
not-
the same space.
Not at the moment, yeah.
So,
Let's see.
no, you
I
can
already
hit
got
both.
really hurt by that bite. Please don't.
Nuke
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, so
Boris says smite.
what I don't know, I have to look this up real quick, is that it says that you can roll an escape with a high DC.
So
that's like your action on your turn?
as an action, he
Yeah.
can attempt a
So-
strength or
so he
dex against
still
that DC.
got you in that grappling hold.
You're just
Jacob,
stabbing him.
you just stabbed him, but he does not need to do that first strike to try to hit you. He can just go to bite you again. And I'm not sure you need to roll that to hit again. I'm going to roll back and look at that too.
I think so still.
He still has to. He still has to
Yeah,
attack
he
with
still
the
has
bite,
to do
but he
his
doesn't need
attack
to
roll,
do the
yeah.
grappling thing.
Right. At the end of your round, Jacob, he bites you again.
That's cheating, and I won't allow it.
Okay, so what are you doing not to allow it?
Screaming in his face, apparently.
Stiffening your neck again. Upping your armor class.
Now, I need to check that too. Is there an additional plus to hit for when a creature's grappled?
No, it only affects movement. So
It's like, I think it allows him to make this attack in the first place.
Well, I think it makes it a +5.
Oh, my screaming makes it a -10.
I mean, are you using your dexterity if you're grappled?
technically, yes. There's nothing that denies you.
Yeah,
your
there's no
dexterity.
different armor classes in 5e.
Grappling again only affects your movement.
Okay, well, he rolls a 17
Whew.
modified.
That feels much
and
better.
misses you with that one.
Yeah.
All right, Zelen, it's your round.
There's really nothing I can do without hitting Jacob too.
Unless you do
hit
a
Jacob and
melee
then
attack.
hit Jacob and then use a bonus action to use a healing word on him.
Did I hear Jacob say immediate suppression?
I'm hearing Boris say immediate suppression.
I'm hearing you guys trying to kill me.
Trying to kill the guy who's all up in your grill.
All right, I'm going to call lightning. Sorry, Jacob.
Gee,
What?
I hate to get
Let's hope the vampire.
You've always wanted curly hair.
Let's hope the vampire's more conductive than Jacob.
And our saves 16 on
dexterity
yours?
16.
All right. Dex save.
Is there anything like a
You're still
disadvantage?
within 10 feet of me.
Is there any disadvantage if you're grappled and you're making a dex
I'm
save?
going to pull up the conditions and read it to you verbatim.
Because I'll gladly take the disadvantage if it means he also gets the disadvantage.
Let's see. Grappled. A creature's speed becomes 0 and it can't benefit from any bonus to its speed. The condition ends if the grappler is incapacitated. The condition also ends if effects remove the grappled creature from the reach of the grappler or grappling effect, such as when a creature is hurled away by Thunderwave.
Well, there you go.
So, no. You guys are at your full fighting and armor class capacity. You just can't move.
Yeah, it's
I'm going to use a feature that I've never actually
Or
used on
kind of
D&D Beyond to just click on the
dancing.
grappled condition and just see what it does to my stuff. And
Fair.
there we go. So just a regular dex save, right?
Yeah.
And I get a plus
4.
something from you?
Yeah.
14.
Oh, the saving was a 16.
Yeah, and
You're
honestly,
more conductive.
with my current plus 13 to that roll, the natural one that I just got on it hurt even more.
Sorry.
And my guy did not roll that well in this deck save. He rolled 16.
Oh,
which-
and
that's
mine
exactly
was a
9. Oh, you're
That's
16?
a pat. You
Yay.
suck.
I made it.
so you
Yay.
saved.
You didn't steal that +4 from me, did you? Because you don't get that. You're an
No,
enemy.
I did not. I did
Okay,
not.
good.
Oh,
And so,
10, 11, 14 points of damage.
okay.
I thought you liked me.
Okay, so then I'm going to do healing word.
And
Can
you're
I-
going to heal him?
Not you, not him,
Not
you.
you. Not you. Yeah, right.
Him,
Oh, yeah.
him,
So how much
him.
damage did you just do that I have to take?
14.
14.
I'm sorry.
Great.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. That feels fantastic. My hit point maximum is 48 at the moment because of that stupid bite.
Okay, so, but I'm also, healing word is a bonus action. So I'm also going to cast the bonus action of healing word
Cool.
on,
What do I get back from that?
I don't know yet. Hold on, I got to look it up.
Like a D4 plus your mod, right?
A D4 plus your spellcasting ability
2d4
modifier.
because of the Blessing of Indara.
Oh, yay.
So pointy one's closest to you.
The pointy one's close to you.
That's a 5.
5
Plus your,
plus my spellcasting modifier,
your
which
wisdom's
is
a 5.
which
also,
is
5.
5. So
Okay.
10.
Hey, okay.
So
not
I
bad.
almost gave him back.
All right. Boris.
All right, yeah. Reacquiring target and smacking him with a hammer
All right.
because that's my thing.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, big monster. New hammer.
Yeah. I wish I wish it wasn't dormant, but maybe this will wake it up.
I wish it wasn't dormant either.
Okay, yeah. So that's a 13 on nat 13 on the first for a total of math 25.
My gosh. Yeah.
Sounds right. I don't know. Yeah, plus 26 because it went plus 13. That's how math works. And a 17 for a 30.
Yay.
If I hit a 30 or above, could it just be an automatic crit?
Yes.
Yeah, right. You think it would be.
Wouldn't you
but-
love to be able to crit on a
no.
10 to 20?
Right.
I'm trying to decide what, with all the benefits right now, and it's a good thing you guys did move fairly quickly through all this and not examining everything.
Right,
You
yeah.
have that with you too. What do you actually have to roll to miss? Because it must be pretty
No,
low.
no, let's not think those numbers.
All right,
Yeah,
but,
no, it's-
but both hit. Twist your damage.
Yeah, I will spend my last 2 spell slots, so I'm down to just the 2 in the ring, and smite good. Well, smite evil. Smite evil well.
Smite evil good.
It's my evil well.
Okay, that's 9 magic bludgeoning and 11, 13, 14 radiant for the first. This is what I'm built to do. And then that's 14 magic bludgeoning and 12, 14, 17 radiant.
Can you pry him off of Jacob?
I'm trying to kill him because if he's dead, then he's not on Jacob anymore.
Fair. I'm glad that 5e is at least nice enough that you don't have to roll to see if you hit your companion if you're
Yeah,
grappled.
right.
Thank you, 5e.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right. So, he's
all of my bonus action stuff is just, well, 1, it's concentration. I don't want to do that. And 2, it's spells that I've already cast.
I would try to think tactically the best thing from this point. It's going to have to be because he's also a little nuts. He's going to maintain his attack. So at the end of yours, he's spending 2 of his legendaries and he's attacking Jacob.
Oh, wasn't it already his turn? Why is he going to be so mean?
No, this isn't his turn yet.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just the end of
technically the
his.
end of mine.
Oh.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of his turn, he's taking an extra turn. What a dick.
All right. Ah,
That's a good sound.
damn. No, he rolled too low. He was not able to bite you to do that kind of damage.
Oh, that's
But
good.
now it's his round. He's going to bite you.
He's
But
going
he's
to
going to miss
try.
again.
He's going to try to bite me.
He's crazy and he's...
I'm using one of those elven dice.
Not the
gave
ones
me
I
for
gave
Christmas.
you.
Yes, you gave me
the
for
irony
Christmas a year
dice.
ago. Yeah, irony dice. Rolling natural 20.
Do what I trained you to do.
Oh. That's wrong. All right, but he has advantage now because I want him to. No, he doesn't.
Well,
Damn
Oh my
it.
god, that would have terrified me.
He's got his second attack, though.
Oh no.
Yeah, so is
well, only one can be a... Yeah.
yeah, the other one has to be a
Yeah, he's
an
he
open
couldn't
hand.
bite you, so he's just decking
He's
you
going
in
to
the
try
gut.
to just punch you in the stomach.
Why did you
And-
have to
Wow,
say
he's
anything?
just
Why did you
mean.
remind him about that?
Because I'm remind everyone of the rules.
Well, that is true.
Can't you just be like me and not know them? Oh, don't do that.
Finally. finally a natural 20.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the far less damaging of the two attacks.
Thank
Which is a
God.
29 is where he's hitting you with right now.
Okay, thought that was damage, and you said less damaging thing. I'm like, that terrified me.
Okay, I need my 8s back right there. That. So 2d8 plus 4. Yeah, it's much, much less. Although, 17 points of damage.
Ow! Y'all, I got 20 hit points left.
And Jacob, you're up.
I am going to make an opposed strength check to get away from this guy.
All right, so you are rolling.
Strength or dex, which is better for you?
Can I use either?
It actually just has an escape DC.
Yeah, so you
just-
use strength or dex.
So that's a
I'm
saving throw,
pretty
right?
sure.
Or is it a check?
It's a check.
Damn. All right, dexterity, and I don't get my bonus from you for
Because
being
it's not
here.
a save.
Right.
Because I know rules.
Natural 18 for a 23.
You did it.
Woohoo, yay.
You are free of him, but that was your action then.
Yeah.
And then my move, so how far do I get from him? Can I still take my move and go away, or is that a provoke an attack of opportunity?
You would provoke an attack of opportunity.
I'm going to, because I have 20 hit points, and I'm gonna aim for behind Boris.
Okay.
Yeah, fair.
So he's taking his attack of opportunity. I wish it could be a bite.
Yeah, no.
Just re-grapple him.
No.
All right, let's see. Here it comes, and yes. He rolls a 27, and I guess he won't be able to bite you, re-grapple. I think it make more sense he's just doing damage to you on that one as you're trying to get away.
I will hopefully take that.
So
Hide behind Boris with whatever I have left.
you take 11 points of damage.
Oh! Okay, yeah, I am quivering and cowering.
Gotta
behind
say,
Boris.
this is really nice for it to be someone else instead.
Oh my
Yeah, usually
God.
it's Boris down to about no hit points at the end of the
Right, yeah.
fight.
Bonus
And-
action. Wait, hold on. I think I have a bonus action that does healing things, don't I?
I don't
Or no,
know.
I just have cure. Never mind. Ugh.
All right, so Zelen, you are up.
So I was going to cast Thunder Wave and push him away.
Hit him with Cold
Oh,
Lightning
no, wait a
again.
minute. I have lightning still going. Nothing's happened to me.
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
have lightning going, so I'm just going to hit him with lightning again.
Okay, so I roll my save.
Hiya.
I fail it,
Pretty.
and yet
20 points of damage.
he makes it.
Oh.
Yeah, so what's the damage?
Wait. Did you just say I failed it, and yet he makes it?
I made a very, very bad roll,
I hate vampires.
and yet he makes
I
it.
hate vampires so much.
I hate anything with legendary
So
actions.
20 was your damage?
20,
Okay,
yeah.
so he takes the 10.
Is he dead?
Hectic.
Or is he
Nope.
dead? Is he
He is not dead.
undead?
And top of the round.
Re-dead?
Hold on. Or you are top of the round.
Yeah, I am top of the round.
Boris top of the round, yeah.
I was just so he was like, Boris
Boris.
goes last, right?
You are up.
Okay, hopefully I can take him out with my last two smites.
Yes, do it, do it.
All right, yeah, that is an 18 for a 31
Definitely hits.
and a 2 for a 15.
Misses by 1.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
This
whisper
is
in
by
his
one.
ears.
Do you have any special things that you can make it hit anyway?
No, the only special stuff I have would be bonus actions and would break my concentration. So no, not doing that.
Aw.
I want to keep my armor going because I don't want what happened to you to happen to me, bud.
You know.
So that is one hit out of the 2, sending one of the spell slots out of the ring to smite.
Okay.
Need more dice.
Yeah, because he's undead. So I'm doing 3d8 from the smite and then additional d8 because he's undead. All right, that is 15 magical bludgeoning and 15 radiant.
And with that last hit, it collapses, crunches inward. And as it's hitting the ground, like almost the moment it touches, it turns into a mist and starts to drift.
I pursue.
Thanks for listening. We want to hear your feedback. Tell us what you think on Twitter using the hashtag unnatural20. And find out more about the world where we play at theempiresedge.com. And as always, you can support us at Subscribestar at subscribestar.com/the-empires-edge.